ITK Yard Sales Arena here with Uncle Vinty, the Vintage Toolman, with a yard sales show for the weekend of September the 23rd and 24th. Well, we found a lot of interesting items this weekend at the Goodwill store, at the yard sales, and also at a church sale and an estate sale. Wow! Well, let me get started showing you some of the items I found at the Goodwill store. I love the Goodwill store. I've been finding some really nice items there. This week I found a vintage, I guess you would call this poster. It's from the Williamsburg Foundation. They came out with these in 1987 as a promotional tool to raise funds. This is based on an old English lithograph back from 1700s. And it shows people forming the various letters, using their body to form the various shapes of the letters. And then it has some cute little sayings after it. So I think it's really quite cute and very collectible. I paid $4 for it, and I think I could easily get 15 to 20 just the way it is in this frame. Also, that same day I found an easel. Not an expensive easel, but I do plan to lightly sand it and stain it, and it works well for displaying pictures. Also, another Goodwill find, this neat wooden shoe from Holland. I liked it. It was small. It had some nice painting on it, and I paid $1.50 for it. Also at the Goodwill, can you see the clock, Uncle Vinty?
Mm-hmm.
That's an Elgin 400-day anniversary clock. It's made out of metal, glass. I paid $20 for it. That clock is worth about $100. It's really nice, with the exception that it's very difficult to accurately set the time. You have to twist it one way to speed it up and the other way to slow it down, so it's that you have to play that game. Set it and wait and see. Is it slow or fast? Then set it a little more. But anyway, we really do like it. Then we went on to a church sale. Actually, we went to 2 church sales this weekend, didn't we, Uncle Vinty? Let me start back here so I don't forget this. At one of the church sales, I found this really nice, it's really heavy, wrought iron fireplace screen. I liked the looks of this, and what I thought was really very cool, we put it on, the tools are hung backwards, is that it has all the fireplace tools really easily accessible, just hanging on here. So it came with, what, 5 different tools, and I paid $15 for that. And I looked that up online, and that's worth about $100. So I thought I did pretty well with that. At another church sale, I found some pretty cool items. I got this grinder. We didn't need another grinder, but as soon as we got to the sale, we were there late. It was 11 o'clock. Everything was half price. So we paid $3.50 for this Keystone grinder. Also at that particular church sale, I got this kind of interesting. This is a Latin musical instrument. It's a percussion instrument. It's called a gyro, G-U-I-R-O. You would actually hold this and strum it with a wire brush, like you would use on drums. I don't have one of those. We think that it was probably on the table when we bought this, but we didn't know that. So I paid $1 for the gyro. Oh, and these sell for $49 new. I picked up a nice little cut crystal ring holder for $1.50. And one last thing, oh no, 2 last things. One, sorry, is this plus size dress form. I just couldn't let her sit there. I paid $2.50 for her, and just a throw. What does it have on the throw? I think I paid $2.50 for the throw also.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then at a yard sale, I found this really nice brass quilt rack. I paid $5 for that. I don't like my brass really shiny, so I don't think I'm going to shine this up, but I probably am going to put some kind of clear coat on it to try to protect it. Okay. Also, at the yard sale, I found this set of cut glass or cut crystal coasters. Uncle Vinty's always getting on me because I'm putting my glass down on the furniture. So now I've got some nice coasters. And I think I just have a couple more items. This came from an estate sale. These are nice jewelry display. And these came out of a store called Garfinkel's that used to be in the Washington, D.C. area. They are now closed. But I paid $12 for all of these. Now, I didn't get the jewelry. I just put that on there so you could see. But it's great. So that's wonderful, particularly if you do any selling of jewelry on eBay. I got this eagle. I forgot to tell you guys about him. He's really heavy. I think he's brass for, what did I say I paid for him? $3 at the Goodwill store. And the last item I have is this Bon-Ton potato chip tin that I paid $6 for at a yard sale. So that's it for me. I'm going to
inkwell.
Oh, I didn't do the inkwell? Oh, okay. The inkwell was also from the estate sale where I got these displays. It was half price. I was there the third day, so I paid $10 for this nice brass inkwell. It's not an antique, but it will look really nice on an antique or vintage desk. Okay, now it's you, Uncle Vinty.
Okay.
He's checking to make sure I didn't forget something.
Your pillows, but that's okay.
Oh, I got some pillows at the Goodwill. They were $2 each. Little throw pillows. Okay, Uncle Vinty.
At one of the church sales, the one that's...
Are you zoomed in or something?
Yeah, it might be. Zoom it out.
You're not supposed to zoom in.
Anyway, at one of the church sales, the one that was going for 50% off, I got a couple of post holders. You drive these into the ground and you put a 4x4 on them to hold something. I've used a couple of these. We have one that holds a school bell and one for a birdhouse.
That's right.
So I got two of them. They're very handy if you're gonna mount something like a birdhouse or something.
And we actually have something that we got at another yard sale to mount.
I paid $1 each for those.
I think that is fabulous.
And I bought them, I think, for about $12 to $15 normally. And then I bought a piece of this is maple plywood. This is from American Woodmark. 50 cents for that. It's just for backing. And finally, I got a tarp. This is about a 8x10 or 12x10. I haven't really measured it, but it's a tarp. I paid 50 cents for that. I think those are very useful.
There's my pillows.
And I think that's it for the yard sale show for the weekend of the 24th.
Okay, great. We'll be back soon. We actually have more to show you.
Well, that's right outside.
Yeah, we have more to show you. That was not all we got. So we'll be back in a second with those other items. Okay, your FYI for today is this. I showed this a couple of weeks ago. I found it in a box, and I did a little bit of research on it. Let me see if I can zoom in there. On the handle, hopefully you can see that, it says Easy Grip. And on the other side, if you turn it over, and turn it around so you can see it, it says, hopefully you can make this out. I'm barely being able to make it out. Let's see if I'm zoomed in. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see it. It says 4-in-1. It's probably difficult for you guys to see. So anyway, this particular tool, obviously this piece right here is for opening a bottle. This piece here is for opening a can. We have a corkscrew for opening wine bottles. And then what I found interesting was this really long piece which has a little forked end on there. So we figure that particular piece was for getting olives, cherries, onions, pickles, something like that out of a jar. So there you have it. That is the vintage Easy Grip 4-in-1 tool. Hi, Auntie Kay here. I'm outside to show you a few items. I want to do it quickly because it's really gotten cold here. It's about 50 degrees. Brr! Okay, third day at the estate sale. This was in St. Margaret's, almost to the Bay Bridge. And what did I find? Well, one of the coolest items I found was this Rolls Racer vintage, or actually antique wagon. Now you can see here it does have these metal clasps, and there would have been red sides, but even in the condition that it's in, this is worth $100. I paid $20, it's worth $100. A lot of people get a piece of glass cut and display items in here and use this as a small table. So I was delighted to get this. In fact, after I bought it, a woman tried to talk me out of it, and I thought about it and I said no, and I'm really glad I didn't. If she had given me a good story like, oh, my grandfather had one of these when he was a boy, but she didn't. So I figured she just knew that it was worth $100 and wanted it. All right, then I got this really nice vintage milk carrier and 8 vintage milk bottles. It was originally $80. I had to pay $50 to get it because they had a standing bid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there were only 7 bottles. I'm sorry. 8 cap with bottles. There were only 7 bottles, but it does carry 8. So that was the deal with that. But I had to pay $50, but I wanted it. I've wanted a carrier for a long time, and that's actually a good price. The carrier itself would go for $50 on eBay. All right, then this really rusty old tea kettle. There's a little story about the tea kettle. It's a cast iron kettle from Energy Harvesters Corporation in Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire. This company made cast iron wood burning stoves, and they closed in 1985. So apparently they made these kettles to go along with their stoves and gave those to the people that purchased the stove. But hopefully we'll be able to wire brush that and paint it and salvage that. Something that I got Uncle Vinty hates is this little potty. It's a Headstrom kids potty with a sheep decal. It is missing its tray. I paid $8 for it, but it's worth about $25. What a lot of people do with these is they put a plant in there and use it as a planter. I think it's cute. Uncle Vinty thinks it's
disgusting.
That's what he thinks. And then on my way out, it was really rainy and muddy. This third day of this estate sale, the only people who could make it in there were people who had 4-wheel drive. Trust me, it was pretty nasty. My car still has mud on it from that. But as I was leaving up on their fence posts, they had this really neat old Lighthouse mailbox. And I thought, gee, I wonder if they'll sell that. They were moving. I knew that. The owners were there. And I spoke with the owner, and he said sure that he would sell it to me. I asked him if $10 would get it. He thought for a minute, and he said yes, I could have it. So his son took it off the mailbox for me, and I've got it. It does need to be repainted and replace a shingle or two. And this is a solar light, and it doesn't work, but we're going to replace that. Incoming.
Are we done?
No. What is that? Is that the president? I think it is. Oh, I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
The president's helicopter just went over. We missed it.
Oh, you can't see them?
No.
Oh
all right.
My gosh.
Can we get back to the show?
Maybe.
We see this all the time.
See it. We see it all the time, but they don't.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, wasn't that exciting? All right. Okay, after that brief interruption, meanwhile back to the Lighthouse.
We've
The
done it.
Lighthouse. No, I haven't finished. I paid $10 for it. It's Amish made. It costs $170. They still make these. I don't know when. It was a present from the son to the parents. And I don't know when he got it, but I'm going to paint it up and it's going to look gorgeous. I will show it to you when I am done. And remember those posts that Uncle Vinty got? That's what we're going to do with it. We're going to put it on a post, on a 4x4, and display it in the garden. Last thing I bought was this old cultivator. It doesn't have its handles with it, but again, it makes a nice yard art piece. I paid $3 for that. And that's it. Now that is it for the yard sale show for the week of September the 23rd and 24th. We'll see you next time with more yard sale finds.